I'm Nell.
Well, hello.
Welcome to our GKG weekend. I hope you find your accommodations comfortable.
What are they teaching you here?
Well, they teach you about connecting and kissing and being passionate. Welcome to Girls Kissing Girls.
It's hard not to watch, isn't it? It's beautiful. Yes, it is.
My job is to kiss all these hot girls and you don't expect me to be human, but it's okay for you.
No, not with the clients.
There you are. The guests are arriving.
Don't worry, I'll be right down. This is the last room.
Hey. Oh, wait, and don't forget about your appointment. We could really use another girl around here. Okay.
Hi, I'm Tanya. Welcome.
Seen through a queer, emotionally grounded lens, this four-scene film unfolds not as a spectacle about kissing, but as a quiet manifesto about women learning to speak, receive, and trust tenderness with one another in a culture that has historically denied them that permission. And Scene 1 establishes this thesis with remarkable clarity by situating intimacy not in secrecy or transgression, but in structure, care, and intention. Nell's business, teaching women how to kiss, is radical precisely because it reframes an act so often trivialized, fetishized, or policed as something worthy of pedagogy, patience, and communal respect. And for lesbian and broader LGBTQ+ audiences, this premise immediately resonates as a corrective to a world that has rarely allowed women to explore desire without external scrutiny or shame. The arrival of Misty and Anna, and the gentle logistical choreography of rooms, schedules, and greetings, mirrors the way many queer women approach intimacy itself. Carefully, with attention to safety and boundaries, aware that what is being built is fragile and precious. When Rose is hired not through a resume but through a kiss hello, the moment is not framed as evaluative or performative, but as intuitive, signaling that this space values embodied communication over credentials, a notion that resonates deeply with queer women who have often had to trust their instincts in the absence of social scripts. The couples who arrive, particularly Yvonne and Marie, bring with them a familiar tension, long-term partnership eroded not by lack of love, but by unspoken hurt, miscommunication, and the quiet fear of being inadequate, and their conflict around. Kissing becomes a metaphor for the ways queer women are often taught to downplay physical affection as less important than emotional connection, even though the two are inseparable. Nell's response, to name the issue as communication rather than blame, models a form of leadership that is relational rather than hierarchical. And for many women viewers, especially lesbians who have navigated relationships without clear cultural templates, this approach feels both aspirational and deeply recognizable. The decision to separate the couple for one-on-one coaching is significant not because of what happens physically, but because of what it allows emotionally. Each woman is given space to be seen without the pressure of performance, to confront her own assumptions, and to rediscover curiosity rather than defensiveness. Katy's role as assistant and coach underscores the importance of community in queer life. She is not a rival or threat, but a facilitator, embodying the truth that intimacy between women need not be zero-sum, and that learning from another woman does not diminish one's primary bond. The film's insistence on apology, on Marie's repeated "I'm sorry," is not about guilt but about repair, and this emphasis speaks to a queer ethic of care that values accountability and softness over dominance or conquest. For lesbian audiences watching two women relearn how to kiss each other, how to pause, listen, and respond, can feel profoundly affirming, particularly in a society that often reduces lesbian intimacy to either invisibility or spectacle. By situating these moments within a seminar designed by women for women, the film quietly argues that such spaces are not only rare but necessary, sanctuaries where women can practice being present without fear of judgment or voyeurism. This is where the idea that such spaces should be forbidden for men to watch takes on symbolic weight. It is not about exclusion for its own sake, but about protection, about recognizing that women's intimacy has too often been consumed through a male gaze that flattens it into entertainment or proof of availability. In this context, the seminar becomes a reclaiming of narrative authority, a place where women's experiences are centered and interpreted by those who live them. And for queer women who have grown up seeing their desires mediated through heteronormative or pornographic frameworks, this reclamation can feel both radical and healing. The film also gestures toward broader social discomfort with women expressing love for each other, a discomfort rooted in patriarchal anxieties about autonomy and solidarity. When women turn toward each other for affection, validation, and pleasure, they disrupt systems that rely on their emotional labor being directed elsewhere. This discomfort persists today, not because women's love is new or threatening, but because it is enduring and self-sustaining, capable of existing without external approval. And the gentle insistence of this film, that such love can be taught, nurtured, and celebrated openly, challenges that anxiety without ever raising its voice. For women in general, not only those who identify as queer, the themes of longing, repression, and emotional safety resonate as reflections of a lifetime spent negotiating when and how it is acceptable to want, to ask, to touch, and to be touched. The act of kissing, stripped of spectacle and returned to its emotional core, becomes a language through which women articulate vulnerability and trust. And the film's refusal to sensationalize these moments honors the reality that for many women, intimacy is less about intensity than about permission. Each character plays a symbolic role in this ecosystem. Nell as the visionary who names what is possible, Katy as the bridge between guidance and practice, Rose as the newcomer whose openness reminds others of forgotten joys, and the couples as mirrors reflecting common fears and hopes. Together, they illustrate the real-world pressures queer women face to minimize or justify their feelings, to present their relationships as either innocuous or exceptional, never simply ordinary. And by portraying a weekend devoted to something as simple and profound as kissing, the film insists on the ordinariness of queer intimacy as a site of meaning. In doing so, it offers viewers, especially women and LGBTQ+ audiences seeking authenticity rather than spectacle, a vision of connection that is neither taboo nor fantasy, but grounded in care, consent, and mutual recognition, reminding us that spaces where women can find other women to even kiss, to practice closeness without apology, are not frivolous luxuries but vital acts of cultural preservation, treasures that deserve to be protected, precisely because they allow women to become visible to themselves and to each other on their own terms.